Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Everett Lee Show. A shot of entertainment to the head. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast. I am the Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone who follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett _Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, Podcast City Network, the official host of the Everett Lee Show podcast. Well, last week was a bust, ladies and gentlemen. I was supposed to be doing a podcast. I was supposed to have a couple podcasts going on last week, but Hurricane Dorian, thank you for disrupting everyone on the east coast of Florida and Florida in general. And my condolences to everyone in the Bahamas right now. I know you guys suffered a lot with Dorian, but I want to send my condolences, and I hope and wish for the best. You guys will rebuild, because with everyone chipping in and helping you out, and everything is going to recover from this tragedy. And I do not like hurricanes living here in the state of Florida, and that's what sucks. But besides that, everything's back to normal for now here on the Everett Lee Show and right here on Podcast City Network Studios. So I had to push everything back this week, and tonight I have my guest who I was supposed to have on last week. He wrestles for companies such as Knockout Wrestling, Pride Wrestling, and some other promotions I'm forgetting about, which he can ridicule me here in a minute. I want to welcome to the program tonight none other than Johnny Zeke. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm great. I am great, man. I'm back on track, recovered from this damn hurricane, like I mentioned, and it just... I'm glad to be doing what I love doing tonight, man. I definitely do.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I mean, even here on the, I think the West Coast I'm at, and I'm not sure. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. I get confused with my East and West sometimes. It's just one of those days.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, everyone was in a panic. My neighbors were in a panic. My family's in a panic. And I just sat here and I was like, I think the storm is going to turn.
Right.
Like, the whole time. And it did. Like, I'm glad it did, but for the Bahamas, like, I just can't believe the devastation. I actually saw footage of the devastation over there, and I'm just completely, like, speechless about it. So
yeah. I am too. I can't believe all that, because they flattened that damn hurricane flattened the damn Bahamas, man, which is just crazy how that happened. And I know help and everything's being sent there to help them recover, because it was such a tragedy and stuff. And I ended up going to the West Coast there, where you were at there, for about 3 days, and I ended up coming back, and I thank God I didn't suffer any more damage than what I did in the last 3 years from the 2 hurricanes back to back. But nature, man, nature is, you don't want to, when nature comes at you with this
nature's weird.
Yeah, it is. It is. When it comes at you, man, you want to step out of its way, or you get ran over like a freight train. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. But you, speaking of being over on the West Coast there in Florida, is that where you grew up at there? You grew up here in Florida? Whereabouts, if you did?
Well, I was born originally in Staten Island, New York.
Uh-huh.
And I moved down here when I was 9, 10 years old. My grandfather was a 9/11 survivor.
Oh.
So a year after the incident, he just had terrible nightmares. He couldn't even go back to the city. He couldn't even look out the window anymore without just being reminded of that day. and we decided to just pack our bags and move to Florida immediately. The first house that he found, he bought it almost immediately, and we've been here ever since.
Wow. Well,
well, I could tell you, like, the devastation from that day, like, it was just unbelievable, because even after that day, I still lived for to watch. Well, my grandfather lived another 11 years, but he suffered from the severe COPD he developed, and in 2012, he passed away from his injuries and illness, and 9/11 was no joke. Like, it affected everybody one way or another.
Yeah.
Whether you survived, like, the survivors actually suffered a lot with their illness. Like, there's been plenty of cases. It's just rough.
It is. It's rough, and especially just looking back at that and everything that happened at that time is just. I was shocked. I was telling you before we went on air tonight. I said I remember it like it was yesterday. 21, 22 years old. Remember it like it was just yesterday. I was at work and in hearing about it. It was all over on the radio. Went down from where I was working at the time, and they had TV on, and I couldn't believe it. I thought I was watching something out of a movie, a disaster movie that is like, no, this is real. This shit is real. It's happening right now. I remember going home and getting on. At the time, I had back in the day 56K, America Online, hitting the chat rooms, and just everyone just saying, all the stuff that was happening and everything, and how people were injured and lost and just was killed. And yeah, it affected everybody, man. Even to this day, it still affects me. Just seeing anything about 9/11 just affects me, because it's.
I have this folder that my grandfather saved that has pictures and magazines and everything. I look at it every 9/11, and I'm just like, I can never forget about this, because this is a part of my family's history.
Yes. Yeah, we'll never forget, but united we stand. We stand united, and we will never forget. We'll never forget.
Nope, never.
Never. Now, growing up there in New York, at what age did you start getting into and watching wrestling? At what age?
At 5 years old is when I first started watching pro wrestling. I was sitting in my room. I was probably playing with my toys or something at the time, and all I hear is "son," and I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "I want to show you something." I go to the TV, and here's Goldberg just plowing through everybody. Like, he was one of the first ones I saw on pro wrestling. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome, Grandpa!" And every Monday night, I would sit there with him, and we would watch wrestling.
Nice. So WCW, you were a fan of WCW. Did you do like Monday Night Wars and watch WWE, or just mainly WCW?
I watched it for a period of time when I was a kid. But then again, I was a kid. I don't really remember much. I was 5, and just with everything going on, because I was also playing baseball too. So my mom would take me to my games and take me to concerts and stuff, just trying to figure out what interests me. But the things that interested me was baseball and pro wrestling, and that was just the thing. I started really getting into it more after we moved to Florida. I want to say I was in about the 6th or 7th grade, and it was around the time when Eddie Guerrero just won the WWE Championship.
Oh, nice. I remember that.
And what I remember from that match, the emotion, when you think about it now, when I watched it from back then as a kid to now, the emotion was just amazing. Like, the first thing he did, he jumped over that referee, and he went to his mom and gave her the biggest hug, crying. Like, to me, I felt that.
Yeah, that was emotional right there.
I felt that moment.
I felt that moment. I was right there with you, feeling that moment right there, because that was something, him winning that championship right there, his Eddie Guerrero winning his first WWE championship. That was great, man. that was great. That was.
Again,
mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful moment. I mean, it's just what it's all about. Like, create memories, moments.
Right. Creating those moments and creating those memories. You can always go back and you can always watch them and stuff. You can always find them, and that's what I love about wrestling. Finding moments like that, you can always find them. Now, watching wrestling, growing up, watching it, and becoming a fan of it. When did you decide, I'm gonna step in the ring? I want to be a wrestler. I want to do this. How did you go about that? How did that happen for you?
Well, I decided I wanted to step in the ring, like, in my teenage years, but I never knew, like, if there was a wrestling school or not. So I ended up, again, just playing baseball through college. And unfortunately, I got hurt where I had to have Tommy John surgery, which I never got the surgery because I was like, Doc, am I going to be able to throw again if I ever had children of my own? Because the surgery would have cost me like an arm and a leg. And he's like, well, as long as you don't throw hard. And I'm like, all right. So I walked away from baseball. And I just started working the regular 9 to 10. And I was working at a middle school as a plant operator at the time. So I saw on the board, like, there was a position open to a wrestling event. I'm like, oh, they're going to have local wrestling. Cool. Like, I didn't know it was pro wrestling. I thought it was like high school amateur wrestling. As soon as I walked through the door and I seen the ring set up, I was like, oh, wow, I had no idea. I was not expecting this. And as I was watching the show, I said, man, I really wish I could do this. And when I said that, a gentleman came over to me. He's like, oh, so you want to start training to be a wrestler? I said, it's been a dream of mine since I was a kid. He handed me his card, and 2 weeks later, I was in his class, and this is where I'm at now. I was trained by Frankie Reyes. That was the man that approached me. He overheard what I said and took me under his wing.
Nice. That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, getting into wrestling, training, and everything. What was that first year for you like? Just training and being in the ring and learning the ropes, as they would call it. How was that for you?
Painful. Very, very painful. Very hard.
Yeah.
Like, I even had self-doubts in my mind, but every time I started doubting myself, I was just like, my grandfather wouldn't want me to stop doing this. He's went through a lot of stuff. And me going through the pain of pro wrestling, it's nothing compared. I always just look at stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would he do? What would my grandfather do? Because he was my hero. He was the guy I looked up to.
Right.
So, but I mean, I enjoyed the journey. I actually trained a year and a half before I decided to step in the ring.
Okay.
My trainer kept asking, like, are you ready? And I'm like, I want to keep working. And when I felt the time was right, I made my official debut on July 21st, 2018 at Pride of Wrestling.
Nice. So that's you're still with that promotion too. You still work for that promotion, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what other promotions have you worked for now?
I have wrestled at DWI, which was in Ruskin, Florida, Knockout Wrestling in Leesburg, Florida, Fight the World Wrestling in Tampa, Florida, Tampa Bay Pro, Tampa, Florida, Lariato Pro Wrestling Guild, Dublin, Georgia, New Era Professional Wrestling in Jasper, Alabama. I feel like I'm forgetting one.
You worked quite a bit in a lot of promotions.
Oh, yeah. And also Fight the World, which is in Tampa, and they also have shows up in New York, Queens, New York.
Okay. Nice. So you get to travel. You got to travel back home and actually do some stuff. Have you done that yet?
Yes, I've actually traveled up back to Fight the World up to Fight the World in New York on WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, nice.
And it was great. It was great to see family and old friends from up there come out and support. Like, I had the time of my life up there.
Nice. That must have been something right there, being right there WrestleMania weekend, because when WrestleMania comes to town, a lot of promotions get together and they put on some great shows during that weekend, and it gives a lot of shows exposure and stuff. And I'm sure that helped you out quite a bit right there with them doing stuff up there during that time.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. And then the next day, we actually wrestled at Coastal Championship Wrestling in New Jersey in the Battle Royal.
Oh, okay.
And then after that Sunday, WrestleMania Sunday, I went to the city with some old friends and family and just had a good time. And when WrestleMania came on, we went and watched WrestleMania at a local bar.
Nice. I want to jump in real quick and say that the chat right now, a lot of people's viewing, and the chat right now is on the channel right here is going crazy. A lot of interaction and stuff. Brandy Lynn 92 says, "Go Zeke, we love you." Brenda and Katie.
Yeah, Brendy and Katie. They are one of the number one top supporters of Knockout Wrestling in Leesburg. Mm-hmm. Every Saturday. I gotta tell you, so I didn't know this happened. Like, last show, I got my skull kicked in by Salazar. I'll explain that situation later.
Okay.
And Katie, apparently flipped out. I heard a fan, flipped out. I didn't know it was her. Mm-hmm. And I think she tried to rush the ring, and they had to, hold her back. And when I found out about that, I was like, oh, my goodness. They were like, Zeke, a fan tried to jump over the barricade to fight Salazar. I was like, what? You got to give me a little bit. I don't know what's going on right now. I actually went back and watched the tape, and I was like, I am so happy that she did that. But I'm so glad they held her back, too, because this is a dangerous man we're talking about.
Yeah. Fans come to the show. It's great to support your favorite wrestler, see your favorite talent and stuff, though. But the one thing you don't want to do, it's good to be a fan. That's why they get the barricades there. You don't want to be part of the show.
Yeah.
You do not want to be part of the show because so much stuff happens. And that's why they're there to separate between the show and the audience and stuff. You don't want to be part of the show because I know I've heard stories back in the day when fans decided to be part of the show during the Territory Outlaw Wrestling years. They used to take them to the back. I heard some stuff about there from some veterans telling stories and stuff, but I mean that's great. You got dedicated fans like that, and I'm glad that they support you. And one thing I want to throw out there is talking about matches and Knockout Wrestling and other promotions that you work for. I watched some of your matches. I pulled up on YouTube there, and I was going through looking at the matches. You have a lot of matches, and I wrote down here some of my favorite ones watching your work in the ring and stuff. The first thing I want to address I thought was hilarious, and I enjoyed it, was you calling out a WWE Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke.
Oh, yeah, that was... I was probably a little hot-headed, and yeah, I got my ass kicked. I probably deserved it.
Yeah.
Never call out a Hall of Famer and slap him in the face, because they will absolutely destroy you in the ring.
he did. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen, and you guys went toe to toe, and he got one up on you. He did. He definitely got one up on you.
He did. It's the years and experience he has between his time in the Fed and everything he's done. Like, yeah, I'm young. Sometimes us young kids, we're hot-headed, and I paid the price for it.
Right.
I paid the price. Like, I will admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong for doing that. I was new. I wanted to prove a point. Like, you know what? I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to find the biggest and baddest person, or the most well-known person in the business, and I called him out.
Yeah. Of course. That's you want to make a name for yourself, so you're going to call out a person, and you called out the biggest, baddest person, and people could look it up there on YouTube. There, those viewing and listening, look it up on YouTube. There, Johnny Zeke calls out Bushwhacker Luke, and you'll see what happens. You'll see what he's talking about there. Another
it was
match.
very, very, very early in my career.
Another match. The Team Dojo match that you had against Josh Dawkins. That right there. Can you tell me a little bit about that one right there to the viewers and listeners?
Again, like, I just got hot-headed. I just thought you know what? I'm better than this kid. Like, yeah, I'm new and whatever, and he's new too. So I was like, you know what? Let's see who's the better man. And, I try to embarrass him in his home promotion. Like, I was looking for his family, choking him out in front of his family, got him to the point where, I found his mom and dad. I'm like, I'm going to do something that you should have done to your boy when he was younger, and gave him a spanking.
I laughed out so loud watching that right there. My wife's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, look at this. And she's like, "Oh my god." That's like, yeah. It was a great match. It was a great match. A lot of momentum going back and forth in the match and stuff. You try to keep him grounded on the ground. You try to keep Josh Dawkins down. I mean, he did some high flying stuff though, but in the end, I mean, he
got the win. But you know what? He proved that he was the better man, and I had to shake his hand.
Mm-hmm. You did.
I was like, you know what? You were the better man tonight. That night, he was just a better man that night. I'm not saying, we wrestle again, like it's going to be the same result, but
right.
That night he was the better man. He actually went on to win the, I believe, rookie championship, I believe, a few months later.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I saw that just recently up on social media.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check out more of him and check that out right there. That's amazing. That's amazing that he won that. And yeah, like you said that night, he was the better man, but you are the man, Johnny. Zeke. Go Zeke.
Well, going through, like, sometimes when I get hot-headed, I lose focus, and again, sometimes it's just how some people are. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I need to calm down. And when I calm down and I get my mind focused, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to go out there, do my thing, and fight to the very end, and not,
yeah,
start running my mouth like I'm the better person. When I do that, I usually have more success. But it was just one of those moments.
Right. It definitely is. It definitely is. Got a fan question right here real quick I'm going to throw in here, Johnny. Jeremy 2323 wants to ask you, what is your biggest accomplishment for you during your years of being a professional wrestler? What would be your biggest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment was just making it, being able to do this. Like, when my trainer says, Johnny, you're ready, that was it. Making my debut was the biggest accomplishment.
All right.
And to me, that meant the world. And now it's just having fun doing. I love doing this. I love being in the ring. I love walking into the venue. It's a whole new world. But outside of that, like the biggest accomplishment besides making my debut was when I won my very first championship at Knockout, which was the social media title back in February. That's another accomplishment.
Nice.
That I hold dearly to me, because I just lost my grandmother 2 months ago due to cancer. And I'm not going to lie, like, after that belt was handed to me, I cried in the middle of the ring, and all I said was, thank you, Grandma. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this. She gave me all the tools I needed to get to where I'm at.
Right.
She was my rock for the past 6 years. Well, I won't say 6 years, but my whole life. But after my grandfather passed, she took the role of him too, because him and I were super close.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I decided to stay with her because she was very, very... I'm probably going off topic here.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I've given you a platform here, Johnny. Just that's fine.
For 6 years, her and I've been staying with her, taking care of her until it was her time. But to me, that was an accomplishment too. For my family to see me accomplish something, that to me is the most important thing.
It is. I would say that is a big accomplishment right there for you, and what how you looked up to your grandparents, how they did so much, and you supported them and they supported you, and I like that. I like that, and you got fans that support you, family that supports you, and I mean, I don't know what else to say. And it's good to have that support. It's good to have that support there. We're going to take a quick break and give a shout out to the sponsors of Podcast City Network.
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Morph Tee, a comfortable and lightweight 100% polyester t-shirt with illustrated morph characters that, when worn, will make the illustrations seem to come to life. For more of Tony Rodriguez's work, you can see his full line of apparel at teespring.com. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Another question right here. Looks like in the chat here from Brendy Lynn 92. She says, I have watched Zeke as well as a few others from the beginning when he started up to now, and he came so far. I'm so proud of him. I honestly cannot say that for any other. He has just done amazing. He doesn't let anything get in his way, and he has conquered his dreams. So, right there. You want to respond to that?
Brendy's been there. Since day one of my training. I met her at a show, SXPW, back when they were up in Newport Richey.
Uh-huh.
And we've known each other ever since. And Brendy, thank you. That means a lot. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until I can't no more.
Nice. I like that. One of the two other matches, I want to jump back into the two other matches. Talk about the knockout wrestling match that you had with Reggie Brown in the chain match. I pulled that up and I watched that there. I cringed watching it with the commentary. The commentary, I kind of tuned that out because it just I had to turn the volume down because I mean the commentary when I watch matches, I watch, for the action in the ring and the commentary, and I don't know if the guys calling the match were new or what was going on, but I'm still trying to figure out how you tie a chain. I don't know how you tie a chain, but besides that, I thought it was pretty good with you guys using the chain. I've never seen, or I haven't seen in a long time, a chain match or a strap match in that type, because I remember back in the day watching when WWE, when like Triple H and The Rock had strap matches, and you guys had a chain, and you guys used that you used it to your advantage. Both of you did. And you ended up winning, and you got busted open, man. There was some color. There was some color there. But besides, I mean, watching that and cringing through the commentary, I don't know what was wrong there or what was happening, but I enjoyed the match, watching it, man. That was a good match.
It was a really good match. There was a lot of emotions in that match. Reggie formed a team faction called Shadow Law, and they wanted to take over Knockout, which they took over Knockout. Mm-hmm. Like, the worst thing Reggie and Shadow Law could have ever done was interfere in my business.
Right.
Like, I'm currently, like, me and Salazar are fighting. Like, we just don't, I just don't like him.
Yes.
So Salazar went on and he became the heavyweight champion, and we were in a fatal four-way. It was me, Salazar, Joe Blackburn, and Dirtbag Dale in a fatal four-way for the Knockout Heavyweight Championship. And as I was getting on top of Salazar, here comes Shadow Law running out, and they jumped me from behind, dragged me out of the match, and left me in the parking lot.
Damn.
So that was mistake number one. And then they continued to get into my business because I went on to become the social media champion. But I had my eyes on Shadow Law. I was going after them because they screwed me out of one of the biggest opportunities of my career over at Knockout. Mm-hmm. So the very first thing they did in March is they banned me from Knockout. Really? And I was like, really? I just capture a title and you're going to ban me? That's cool. Thank you for a free vacation. And that's when I decided to go up to New York, which led into WrestleMania weekend.
Right.
Just so happened I was up there at the same time. He gave me the night off. But anyway, for me to get back into Knockout, I called out Reggie Brown and his good friend at the time, Sam Too Damn Slick.
Right.
I said, you guys don't want me at Knockout because you're afraid that I'm going to hurt you guys. You're afraid that I'm going to ruin Shadowlaw. So how about you lift this ban in April? Because if you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. I even told him, you know what? I'm going to put this social media championship on the line and not a regular one-on-one match. No. Give me Destructive Caliber, which was Alex Destroyer and Joseph Matthews, which they were a part of Shadowlaw. And in April, I came back and defended my belt in a handicap match. One thing led to another. They were about to win. Referee was distracted. Reggie Brown came out, was distracting the ref. Joseph Matthews was hesitant to hit me in the head with the title belt. So as he started charging, gave me enough time to recover, moved out the way. He hit his brother, Alex Destroyer, in the head with the belt. Went in the shop, turns around, boom. Hit him with a pounce, and I pinned him. 1, 2, 3. But I wasn't satisfied.
Right.
Wasn't satisfied at all. I used that social media championship to my advantage. I called Reggie Brown out to a match at Wrestle Mayhem. And he's like, what makes you think I want to fight you? And I'm like, I got something you want. This belt. And he accepted my challenge, and I said, and one more thing, Reggie. This match is going to be a Boris Malenko Russian chain match.
Oh, okay.
And there was a special guest referee, which was my trainer, Frankie Reyes.
Nice.
And he was a Malenko student.
Right.
So that's why we made it it was the first ever Knockout Wrestling Boris Malenko Russian chain match. And I told Reggie, and I told everyone to Knockout, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be bloody, and it's not going to be kid-friendly.
It wasn't. You ended up bloody.
Nope.
It was bloody. It was a bloody. It was a bloody mess.
I lost a lot. I lost a lot of blood.
You did. You took that shot right there to the head, and it just you lost a lot of blood. But you came out on top. And
yeah, that was my last. That was my last hope.
Yeah.
That was my last spurt of energy.
Right. You came out on top, and you succeeded, and that is awesome. It was a good match. It was a good match, especially. I mean, just haven't seen a strap chain match or just a chain match in a long time, and it was good to see one of those. Now, going on, you mentioned you dropped this name a few times already, and I checked out the 2 out of 3 falls heavyweight title match against Salazar, and it was you against him, and good match. I mean, you guys tore up the place. You tore up the place. Both of you did. Besides, I mean, the shaky camera and the off-color commentary. It was a great match. It was great from everything. I mean, you guys, you threw everything at each other except the kitchen sink. You guys didn't even throw that in there. I was expecting that there. I was disappointed with that. No kitchen sink, though. But other than that, Johnny, it was a great match. Loved it. Loved that 2 out of 3 falls match. And
I had that match won.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to let the help of somebody else get me victory over someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I froze. That's where I messed up. And then Salazar just went on this path, and he's been heavyweight champion for a long time. And as much as I don't agree with his tactics, he's still the champion.
Right.
Like, he's doing everything in his power to keep the belt. As you see, we hate each other. Like, we tried to kill each other that night.
Right.
That was back in January. I was granted a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
But as you saw, there was really no true winner. I had one pinfall on him, and he made me tap out.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
But the final fall, we were both knocked out, and it took another man to put him on top of me. And while the referee was knocked out, he made the 3 count. So to me, I don't think that was, no, there was no winner. But I excuse my language, but I was bitching and complaining about it. But the management was like, we can't have you and Salazar fighting anymore. You guys have caused too much damage. So they did everything in their power to keep Salazar and I away from each other.
Right.
That was until just now.
Right.
And here's the thing. I ended up winning a number 1 contendership for the Knockout Heavyweight Championship in July.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm challenged Salazar to the 1-year anniversary show for his heavyweight title, which is going to be this Saturday night at Leesburg High School. But we actually locked horns in August. He wanted to pick the stipulation for our match. And I told him, I don't owe you a damn thing. We're just going to have a regular match. But if you want to pick stipulations, here's what we're going to do. How about at roll call, we have a tag team match? You and your buddy, Senior C, put your NGCW Tag Team Championships on the line against me and my best friend, Everett Lee. Well, as you see, they came out on top. So now his buddy, Senior C, gets a shot at Everett Lee's Armed Forces Championship, and now I am stuck in a no disqualification match. Anything frickin' goes with the special guest referee, Bill Crude, and Bill Crude was the one that instructed Salazar to do the post-match attack on me and bash my skull in.
Right.
And they even tried to break my ankle. They were trying to keep me out of Chaos 2.
Jeez.
But I wasn't going to let that happen. So this Saturday night, I'm going to go in there, and I'm not going there for not just for a match, not for a fight. I'm going in there for a freaking war. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if none of us walk out as the heavyweight champion. I just want to put Salazar in his damn place for once. Because Salazar's name is feared in Knockout Wrestling, and so is Controversial Inc., which is his crew. They are running around Florida capturing title after title after title. They are a team to... They just... All I know, a lot of people fear them. I don't. I'd rather go down trying than run away. And if I got to fight all members of Controversial Inc. during this match, so be it. Because I will. I may not be able to have anyone at ringside, but when I'm pissed, I'm not the Johnny Zeke people actually know at Knockout. And that's what they're going to see this Saturday.
Wow. Wow. Talking about right there, ladies and gentlemen, you can see right there, viewing and listening. Johnny's talking about Knockout Wrestling Chaos 1-year anniversary, Saturday, September 14th. Doors open at 1 p.m. Show starts at 2 p.m. at the Leesburg High School at 1401 Yellow Jacket Way in Leesburg, Florida. Admission's $10 and 17 and under 5 and under free with paid adult. So if you're in the area, be sure to check that out right there, Saturday, September 14th, ladies and gentlemen. And you have something else going on, too, on another promotion here with IWA. What do you want to tell me about Insane House Party on October 26th?
Yeah, that'll actually be my debut over at IWA Insane House Party. I'm actually very excited about that.
Okay.
I've been hearing for months and months and months that they're going to have an insane house party, and hey, it's going to be a party.
Yeah, might as well join the party, right?
Might as well join the party. Yeah. And they got a stacked card.
Yeah.
They have me going against one of the IWA originals, I believe. His name is The Enforcer.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to that. I know he's a very old-school wrestler.
Yeah.
And I actually looked on YouTube and looked at some of his stuff. He's a big guy, too, which is exciting me even more.
Oh, that's...
So we got big guy on big guy. So I'm looking forward to going one-on-one with this guy.
That's great, man. That is great. And that happens right there at IWA Insane House Party on October 26th at the Stark National Guard Armory on 720 Edwards Road in Stark, Florida. VIP doors open at 6:20 p.m. General doors, general admissions open at 7. Bell time 7:30. VIP seating is $20. General admission $10. Kids 5 and under free with a paid adult. They'll also be having a Halloween costume contest, and the first 100 kids get a Halloween bag. So if you're in the area, please check that out on October 26th right there, if you're in the area.
Halloween.
That's right.
Halloween.
You can't go wrong.
Going out.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Halloween, man. You can't go wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong. Who knows? I might dress up in a costume. I don't know. Gotta have a little fun somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta have some fun, man. It's Halloween. Everyone loves Halloween,
Can't just go out there and be like, oh, I'm gonna go wrestle. I want to have a little fun too. I think I'm gonna dress up in a costume.
Halloween. One thing I like about Halloween is the only time of the year where you don't have to be yourself. That's why I like Halloween. You can actually be someone else besides yourself, and that's what I love about it. I used to love as a kid dressing up and coming up with some crazy costumes and stuff, and it's a fun time of year. Everyone loves that. They got the horror movies on TV. They got the classics. You got just so much stuff, and Halloween's a good time of the year. It definitely is. It definitely is. Wanted to ask you, since earlier we had a fan question there, and anyone viewing and listening right now, I mean, you can you want to ask Johnny a question, go ahead and type it in the chat right there and ask away, and I'll read it off to Johnny. But someone who wants to get into pro wrestling, who wants to be a wrestler, they're starting out, what advice would you give someone starting out in pro wrestling?
Make passion, heart. It's got to be in it. You gotta love this. Like, also, it's painful. You got to be able to enjoy the pain. That's the best advice I can give. You're gonna have to be able to sacrifice a lot of things too, in order to do this. And that's exactly what I had to do. I sacrificed a good job to do this. And I don't regret it, because my heart is in this. And I feel that there's really no wrong way. My best thing is, if you're passionate about it and you have the heart for it, go for it. Because you're never going to know if you want to do this until you try. So, because I know there's people that are sitting there, what if?
Right.
Let's not sit there and think about the what if. Let's go and sit there and be like, you know what? I tried, and I did it. But that's how I was. I didn't know if I was going to be doing this for a while, or I was going to go in there and be like, I love wrestling.
Right.
But I think this is, not for me, and I just love doing it. Again, it's the heart and passion.
Yeah. I agree with you right there. Heart and passion and the dedication to it, because you sacrifice a lot, and you've sacrificed quite a bit, and you've blood, and you've given so much, and you're going to keep going. You got the support of your family, you got the support of your friends, you got fans that are in the chat right now here tonight that support you, and I mean, you're going to go a long way. I mean, you got the support and you got the drive. I mean, you're gonna go to the moon, take it to the moon, Alice. And Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Hi. Shout out to David C. Russell from Deathmatch Russell Podcast, who's on Podcasting Network. He's tuning in. He has a question for you, Johnny. I'm gonna read off here. He said, Johnny, have you ever had a lot of hardcore matches or cage matches or ladder matches?
I've had more hardcore matches. I never had a cage match, and I never had a ladder match yet. I've had my hardcore matches with Salazar, which is going to happen again this Saturday night. With anything goes, no DQ, with a special guest referee that has a target on my back, but hey, whatever. It gets wild.
Yeah.
I mean, the Russian chain match got bloody.
Right.
I had a 2 out of 3 falls hardcore submission match only on July 20th, this past few months ago.
Oh, nice.
So that was interesting. When I found out, like, oh, you and Deathmark are going to be in a 2 out of 3 falls submission match. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Oh, and it's a hardcore match as well. Anything goes. I was just like,
yeah.
Well, this got interesting. It got to the point where, because this is the guy that screwed me out of the social media championship, and the hatred between Deathmark and I just grew.
Uh-huh.
And it got to the point where Deathmark was demanding title shot after title shot after title shot. And I said, how about you earn a title shot? And that's when they made it a number 1 contenders match for the heavyweight title. Okay. I was like, okay. But if I beat him, I'm going to get my hands on Salazar.
Okay.
So I literally took the steel chair, and I was like, you know what? This guy is fast. He's all over the place. I got to slow him down.
Right.
So I took the chair, and I put his leg in the chair, and I pulled it all the way back. And he tapped out almost immediately.
Oh, man.
That had to hurt. I did a single leg Boston Crab with a steel chair on his leg. And every time I watch it, I just laugh. And I'm like, ha! You should have never pissed me off.
Damn. I'd say that did hurt. Now, Brendy Lee has a question. She said, "This is Brendy's. I suck with names. Don't kill me."
Brendy's
niece Katie has a question. Speaking of how to get into it subject, because of Zeke and a little push from him, I have figured out what I want to do in life. I've started training as of yesterday, and I would keep on watching him and learning from him. I couldn't thank him anymore. Katie.
Yeah, she approached me, and she was just like, I really want to become a pro wrestler. Like, do you have any advice? I said I would go to a school that has recognizable people that know how to train. So Knockout actually opened the school, and the head trainer over there is Benny Blanco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they also have a couple of assistant trainers, which is Bobby Bonecrusher and Dirtbag Dale. And she's training over there. And I'm actually thinking about going over there and learning some stuff from Benny Blanco himself.
Nice. That is awesome. That is.
But I'm excited. Like the moment I found out that she started training, I was happy. I had the biggest smile on my face. I'm like, this is awesome. I made an impact on somebody, especially like in a time of need. And I was just like, and plus Katie is such a sweetheart.
Right.
And she deserves the best. And I told her, I said, if you do this, like, you got to have the heart and passion for it. And I believe that you do. And she went out and did it. She's finding ways to do it. And I couldn't be more proud of her. She's got her family behind her back. I got her. I support her 110%. I see her at every knockout show. And I'm just proud of her. I can't wait to see what happens.
Nice. That's awesome. It makes you feel good that you impact someone's life, man. That does. It does. Don't it?
And I'm excited because Knockout School, they run on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to actually go up there. It's quite a bit of a drive for me.
Right.
But you know what? It's worth the drive.
Right.
I'm going to go up there and learn some stuff.
Right.
So
you're never too old, like my father would say.
You never stop learning.
Yeah.
In this business,
you
never stop learning in life. That's
exactly.
life.
Exactly. I'm still learning stuff, even now at 40, and I know next month I'll be 41, and I wonder where the hell the time went. I'm married for 9 years, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. And now with a 2-year-old, I understand why my parents went crazy. That's all I'm going to say. One last question here. Deathmatch Russell podcast. David C. Russell wants to know, what was your worst injury ever? What was your worst injury ever?
Worst injury ever. Are we talking about through wrestling or back in, just my whole life in general?
I think he's referring to wrestling. I believe he's referring to wrestling. We'll say your worst injury you've suffered from wrestling. What would that be?
I literally have to say it was at roll call when Salazar smashed my freaking head in with a chair like twice. Damn. And tried to break my ankle and just kept beating me with the chair over and over and over. Like, ugh. I don't even remember what happened. I didn't even go home. I couldn't even make it home.
Jeez. I saw.
So
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, since you're talking about that, I did see that. That's up. Anyone wants to know what Johnny's talking about, it's right up on his Facebook page there. I've seen the video of the assault and everything, and I love the video where basically you're like, I'm coming for you. I'm ready. I love that.
I'm usually a man of a lot of words. But for the first time in a very long time, I'm not. I just got nothing but hatred going into this match. Like, it's not even about winning or losing. It's about respect.
Right.
Because here's the thing. Salazar and I made our debuts at Knockout Wrestling together. And I beat him. But, there's always a but. The referee didn't see Salazar's leg on the rope. So he went to management and complained. And when I saw the footage, I said, you know what? Let's have a rematch because I don't like to win like that. So we had a rematch. I went to go spear the hell out of him. He moves. I hit the ring post. He rolls me up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you beat me on a mistake. Just to find out when he rolled me up, he put his feet on the ropes for leverage to hold me down.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, are you kidding me? So then he started following me from company to company to company to company and just kept jumping me from behind, beating me down for no damn reason until he pinned me that night.
Jeez. That's crazy.
And that's just when I said, you know what? I'm not having this. And that's just when this war broke out.
Right.
And still to this freaking day, him and I have been going at it. The last time I fought him in a singles match was at Pride of Wrestling. What happened was somebody got hurt in the Pride of Wrestling Championship tournament, and Salazar was about to get a free pass. I was like, hell no. I was like, no way. I earned the right to be in this tournament. Even though I wasn't in it, like, I wasn't going to let Salazar have a free pass. So what POW management did was have a match at the very beginning of the event. It was me versus TLS Silas. Well, I defeated Silas to get a spot in the semifinals because the winner of our match went on to face Salazar, and he wasn't too happy. So after I pinned Silas, Salazar and his little posse jumped me from behind to try and make sure I didn't make it to that match. But I still, later that night, fought Salazar. He ended up beating me because, one, I was already beaten down, and two, he still needed backup to beat me, even though I was beaten down already.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. That is crazy.
It got to the point that at the last Pride of Wrestling event, I had probably one of the best matches that in a very long time against a man named Nick Abrams. None of us won. We ended up in a draw. We both pinned each other, had no idea what was going on, but we shook hands.
Uh-huh.
It got to the point where Salazar, Senior C, and La Brava attacked the promoter, the owner of Pride of Wrestling, just kept beating them down. I went to Nick in the locker room. I said, hey, Nick, I need a big favor from you. He's like, what do you need? I said, we need to go out there and stop Controversial Inc. So we took off from the back out into the ring and chased Controversial Inc. off.
Right.
And every time when Salazar saw me, it's like he saw a ghost. The first thing he says, I told you I was finished with you, Zeke. I said, no, this war is far from over. I will not be satisfied until I kick your damn skull in.
You're going to at
I'm going to.
This Saturday, September 14th, right there, Knockout Wrestling presents Chaos, 1-year anniversary. Saturday, September 14th. Doors open at 1 p.m. Show starts at 2 p.m. General admission is 10, 17 and under, 5 and 5 and under, free with paid adult. Now, one last question I want to throw out here to you from the chat, Johnny, is that from Brendy Lynn again. She wants to know, what was your absolutely favorite match you ever been in? What was your favorite match you ever been in?
I have 3, but the one I have to go with, my top, was the match with Nick Abrams. We went against each other twice. The first match, the time limit ran out. Second match, we pinned each other. But we were able to stand up, look each other in the eye, and shake each other's hand. That, to me, was my favorite.
Nice. I like it. Now
I'm hoping Pride of Wrestling puts Nick and I together against Controversial Inc. in the near future.
that would be something. That definitely would be something. Right there. It definitely would. I want to ask you, looking at my notes here. My glasses are fogging up, man. It's been hot tonight, man, here. I'm telling you. I want to thank, real quick, I want to thank everyone that's listened and viewed in on the chat right here on twitch.tv/the Everett Lee for the Everett Lee Show. And thank you, Jeremy2323. Thank you. Awesome podcast. Thank you. I appreciate the comment there. We talked about, discussed the events that you have coming up here and stuff. Before we end, I want to ask you, where can people find Johnny Zeke at on social media?
Very easy. You can find me on Facebook under Johnny Zeke. There's an actual Facebook page where you can send a friend request, or a fan page. I respond to both. I mainly respond and post more on the fan page. And you can also find me on Instagram at Big Game Zeke.
Nice. Thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out tonight and coming on to the podcast and stuff. And before I do close this podcast, there's a couple things I do want to mention to the viewers right now and everyone, that you can follow more of the Everett Lee Show right here over on Podcast City Network, over on podcastc.net. You can follow Podcast C Network on Facebook, Podcast C Network, and send them a tweet over to the that just got out of Twitter jail at Podcast City Net, and subscribe for video and audio podcast on YouTube for Podcast C Network right there, Podcast C Network, and subscribe and follow them over on their Twitch channel, Podcast C Network, twitch.tv/Podcast C Network. And you can follow more of the Everett Lee Show.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
For more of the Everett Lee Show on social media, follow and like the Everett Lee Show on Facebook, the Everett Lee Show, Twitter, at the Everett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio versions of this podcast and previously released podcast can be found on everettleeshow.podbean.com. Stitcher Radio, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. Apple Podcast, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, subscribe to the channel. The Everett Lee Show, your shot of entertainment to the head.
I want to thank everyone tuning in and listening tonight. Johnny, thank you for coming on tonight, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And we are hitting the outro music as soon as it loads up, because software sucks. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of the Everett Lee Show. Peace.